Well, welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. Man, kind of got three things in this video I got to deal with, plus something else. Number one is I messed up recently. Number two is I have no excuse for something else. I mean, I've got an excuse, but it doesn't even work. And I had to pay some fines to the government, which I'd rather not do, because if they can be avoided, why? But anyway, I'm Papa Pepper here at the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I hope you guys are doing well today. Man, I still got to do this. Let me spin this around so I can talk while I work. As you can see, I still haven't even unloaded my bee equipment I got before I stopped in at Jeff's the other day. And it's actually stopping in at Jeff's the other day that led to me making my mistake. You see, when I took off to Jeff's, what happened was I set my alarm for like 4 in the morning, and I planned on getting on the road about 4:30. I left about 4:45, realized we forgot some shoes for Bugger, so we had to come back. In fact, Bugger, can you go just set this off the side by the rocks? Yeah. Carefully, don't break it. I'll tell you about these in a minute too. It's pretty heavy. You got it? No. Maybe over your shoulder? But I'd set my alarm for 4 o'clock. This one's kind of yucky, child, so I'm gonna carry it, or you guys, yeah, I better carry it. And today I had a day I need to do some stuff. You see, we don't all fit in this Suburban anymore because this is an 8-seater. So if you have a man and his wife and their 6 children, we fit. But now we have our 7th child, so we didn't all fit. Bought a new vehicle. Well, I bought a vehicle a while ago. Thought it would fit us all. Nice big old van. I gotta change one thing about the back seat, and then we're up and running as a family in it. But I needed to license, well, yeah, get it licensed and get some insurance on it today. So I had to wake up early because Mama Pepper wanted to go to town. Okay. Oh, chirping? Yeah. I'm also homeschooling the kids today for Mama. We do it together, but normally, there you go, son. She takes the lead role. So she's in town right now with the van. That all went well, but the deal was I wanted to set my alarm for about 6:30. So I get on the road by 7. When the DMV opens where I was going, at 8 I'd be there in place already. I messed up because I did not change all of the alarms. I set up about 10 of them to help me get up in the morning. Take that one, Bugger. Because I don't always wake up at the first one. So I changed a pile of them to like 6:30-ish. And I'm sitting there dreaming, right? And it was crazy how, you know, sometimes your dreams get affected by the things going on around you. So I'm dreaming, and I'm like back in high school or something in my dream, because I'm at my parents' house and my alarm's going off on my cell phone. Of course, we didn't have cell phones when I was in high school. And I'm trying to shut it off and nothing's working. And I'm like, this is how you shut it off. Why isn't it working? And I'm sitting there, eventually I'm like crawling back in my bed to go back to bed in my dream at my parents' house. And I hear my mom like, can somebody shut that off? And I'm like, I'm trying. And the deal was, my real cell phone in the bathroom where it was plugged in was going off. It was in the bathroom, so I had to get up and move to get it. That actually wakes me up, right? And I'm sitting there in my dream trying to shut off a fake cell phone that doesn't exist. So that's where the problem came in. That's where I messed up. So number one, I couldn't go back to bed. Stoked the fire in our new wood stove. Did some other things. Got to work on the computer. That's how I messed up. Whew. So I waited a nice long time. You can take that one over, just be careful. Waited a nice long time, finally took off to town. Got there at 8, right? Well, before 8. DMV opened up, walk in. And here in Arkansas, you need to have a vehicle insured before they'll license it.
But it's not dirty.
Yep. Take it over there quickly.
But
yep.
it's heavy.
It's heavy? Okay. So the problem was the insurance place I dealt with, I didn't know that the first time, so I just went to the, you can try. I went to the nearest insurance place next door to it. Well, they don't open till 8:30, so I had a half hour to kill. I remembered something about my property taxes. And part of the reason we moved to Arkansas was that they had low property tax. That intrigued me, that excited me. Back in Wisconsin, I think we had to pay about $1,600 a year. You got it, yeah. We had to pay about $1,600 a year for a 1/4 acre lot in a small city and about a $70,000 home. That was quite a bit. Here, when I had the raw land, which is under 10 acres, when it was just land, you can take that one, it cost me $17 to pay property tax each year. Honestly, I'd rather avoid property tax altogether, but if they're going to charge me property tax, cheap is best. So then we pulled the mobile home on here, started developing some things, building some outbuildings on the property, and wanted to claim this $350 tax credit that they got in the state of Arkansas. I guess I had it set on a funny mode for this video too. Now the dream mode is away. I woke up, it was my real phone, remember? But I wanted to claim this $350 tax credit they had. And I figure, you know what, that should offset all of my property tax liability on the property, right? And what happened was, didn't live on there the full year, whatever, and that year. Next year, somehow it got messed up where they say I never paid it, so I paid it with a late fee. That was not good. Then last year I went to go pay it, and I said, hey, what about this homestead credit? What about this credit? And they said, oh, well, don't pay it now. And what we'll do is we'll have it assessed, and then you can claim that credit, and then you can, pay anything that remains. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. But what happened was, I never got anything in the mail. So since I'm there, DMV 8 o'clock open, 8:30 on the insurance place. I walked across the street to the city hall, the court building. It's all, whatever they got, the municipal building downtown there, and said, hey, here's what happened. You guys told me not to pay it. I never got anything since then. Can I claim that, homesteading tax credit? Well, what's going on here? And they said, oh, well, it's applied to your thing. I said, okay, well, how would I know that? You guys never contacted me. And they're like, and your remainder is overdue, so you got a fine now. And I'm like, how do I have a fine? I pay all my bills right away, even the credit card bills. If you use a credit card, collect your bonus points or whatever, cash those in to save you money, but don't get late fees, okay? That's just a good way to live. Turns out it didn't offset the timber tax. If you guys look around here, there is some woods on the property. I think that's how they figure it out. So there was actually a $1.17 timber tax that it didn't cover. Since I didn't pay that on time, I had a late fee of 12 cents. So I kind of made a little bit of a satirical stink about that. And it kind of reminded me, like, if you're in elementary school or something and you don't bring back your library book in time, and they charge you like 6 cents a day for not bringing it back in time, and you bring back 2 days late and they give you a 12-cent fine. That's what I got, guys. I got a 12-cent late penalty. I'd rather avoid it, but I'll tell you what, if my actual property tax for this land and my house, if what I have to pay is just the timber tax of $1.17 a year, I think I'm sitting where I need to be, right? I think there's one more in here, bugger. Oh. Can you go open the side door and make sure there's nothing in there? So, cool thing too with these guys, right here, these are snake gourds. These snake gourds were grown by Shalom Acres, and actually, when I left at 4 in the morning the other day, when I had those, set those alarms for 4 in the morning, left closer to 5, went down, visited the Redneck Prepper, then stopped in at Bobblehead Homestead. That's all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then I stopped in at Shalom Acres, and because I'd given some of these snake gourd seeds to Shalom Acres, they grew them and they did really well for them. And what they had is a lot that started getting too big to use, so he figured he'd save them for seed, and then he wound up with a whole bunch of them for seed. And he said, well, you gave me those. He says, I know you like the seeds, and you try to get them in the hands to other people. And it's one of the things we do here to even make some income for my family. Besides things like YouTube here. So if you like, if you subscribe, if you leave a comment, that helps these videos kind of get recommended to more people, helps expose more people to our channel. If you find things like this worthwhile, please, do that. and it helps put some money in our pocket along the way, which is cool. And also, if you notice kind of some of those gems, when I talk about things, like how much I have to pay in property tax, not exactly the subject of this video, but it's one of those kind of little hidden sneak bonuses in here that you guys who actually watch these videos get to hear and get to check out. Hey, my children on the trampoline, Bugger, I'm still gonna be talking for a bit, so if you guys keep it quiet, that'll be better for the people listening at home. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then say yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So he let me crawl out in his yard. It was dark. I didn't think we left there till like maybe 10 o'clock that night, and grab a couple of these first. So up here, yeah, this is where they grew snake gourds because we had given them some seeds. Look at the size of some of those. Can you pick one of these up, Bugger?
Yeah.
Lift that up.
This one?
Yeah, lift it up.
Okay.
From the top, from the other side. Stand it up.
It's muddy.
Okay. Look at the size of that. How is it compared to you? Just a little taller, eh?
No, it's just telling me.
He said because we'd given him the seeds, he would give us some of these to check out. And then we could hopefully offer them up to you guys. So we're going to grab a couple of these. How cool is that?
Cool.
So how exciting is that? Later today, I think I'm going to crack open some of these, sort out some of the seeds, and get them started to dry and stuff, so that soon we can list them in our Etsy shop and put them in the hands of some of you guys, our viewers, and you'll see why we love these stir-fried. We love them cooked up in soups and stews. We love them pickled too. Chris from Shalom Makers also taught me that one. So pretty cool stuff. But today, I have absolutely no excuse. So despite being tired, despite making that mistake that cost me a couple precious hours of sleep, I guess I went to bed before 11 o'clock last night, so it was an early night for me, but still to wake up unexpectedly at like 4:17, I think I finally hit the alarms off. Not ideal for me. I could use some more. As you can tell, I don't get as much beauty sleep as my wife does, right? But I have no excuse being tired. I still gotta watch out for stuff here. I gotta take care of things. See, we got some sheep, which we milk, and we also have a young milk cow. But until she's old enough to get bred, until she gets bred, and until she calves, we can't milk her. In fact, her mom, I'll show you what's left of her mom at this point. I just happened to see her as I walked by. Here's what's left of her mom. She could have been a good cow, but we did a lot of things wrong with her. And she wanted to mostly treat me as a rodeo clown. So when she had, this is a Gunda by the way, when she had Xenia, our new one, she rejected her calf too. So it wasn't the best shot, but I took her out, weighed her up, and I got the skull real nice and clean. I'm actually gonna put this inside the house. I heard that there's some people who kind of run like the carrion beetles and black soldier fly, you know, maggots and stuff like that, and they charge people to clean their skulls for them. All I do is I drop them in a bucket. Now I didn't have a bucket big enough for this one, so what I did is I put in a barrel. Put in a barrel of water, and every once in a while I just tip off the water and replace it, and for a while it's kind of nutrient rich, if you would. It's not the right color, you know, it's not clear as everything starts coming off of here, and I use that as a fertilizer for my plants actually, and then eventually you wind up with a clean skull. I just keep this one for the moment on top of this beehive so nobody messes with it. But she didn't work out for us, but by having a baby she gave us a second chance. I'm just going to show you another skull here. This would have been from a goat. Okay, same thing. I still got some cleaning out to do with some stuff there, but it gets the skulls pretty clean. So even though we've got these animals for milk, our sheep should be lambing soon, so that'll be good. And then the cow is going to be more than another year away before we're able to do that. So we've got a deal worked out with one of our friends who lives a bit away. We get milk from her and picks them up every Thursday. So we get some nice raw milk, use it for a lot of things. We make butter from the cream. Back in my native Wisconsin, it would be illegal for us to actually go anywhere and purchase, you know, pay somebody for some raw milk. So that's one of those home-based businesses that a more rural person with a cow could have, but not there. People, you could drink the raw milk yourself, you could have people over and they could drink it while they were there, but you couldn't actually sell any of it. So just a little more freedom down here than we had there. So Mama needed to take off there, and then she figured as long as she was out, she wanted to stretch her legs in town a little bit and take care of a couple things. So even though I'm tired, I'm homeschooling the big ones. We're doing some work out here with the little ones, and then also the show must go on around here. We've got to progress. I've got to, especially now when they're printing so much US dollars that hasn't been backed by anything, you know, in over a century. I've got to waltz in hand, turn into good things on this homestead. But this project's actually free. So I've got some free cedar posts, some free pallets, some free fence boards, and some free metal. And I'm gonna build a garden lean-to here. So pretty much where this row of logs ends, I wanna start a lean-to here and run it all the way out to here. And then I've actually got a plan to have like a whole nursery area underneath here and use the water from this lean-to to water the little plants I start off underneath there. And in the summer, all those wires running across will be covered in hops. So they'll act like a natural shade cloth, and all my tender little seedlings and plant propagations and cuttings I'm rooting and stuff like that will have a really good place to chill out. And especially if I can just have the water that this thing catches when I build it, feed that, you know, take care of that, that's going to be awesome. And I've got a lot of stuff here for my gardening stuff. Plus I've got a lot of tools laying around. And then I also have a number of things that I got to deal with. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't have a storage place for. My shipping container is full, and I want to put a lean-to off the side of that to keep things out of the elements, out of the rain, out of the sun. But at the moment, that's too big of a project, so I'm going to put this up, put some things in here, and see where we go from there. That'll at least give me some time before I got to build that next one, get back to working on the root cellar, and we'll move forward from there. Look at that, still hiding in the bushes. We still have some snow here on the homestead. And that was one reason why even when I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, left before 5, didn't get back till like 1 in the morning. I'm so glad I got back, because woke up the next morning to a bunch of snow. So say I would have been extra tired, spent the night at Shalom Acres, and then made it back the next day, I would have had to drive in snow and icy conditions. Not good, not good. So yes, I'm tired. I got work to do. Messed up with that alarm, but here's what I'm gonna do. Pretty much, I'm just gonna show you guys when I get done. Probably won't get the whole thing done today, so I'll do a recap at the end of the day. But I'm just gonna shoot some of that fast footage, play a little bit of music, let you guys watch what I do to get started, and then kind of show you where I'm at the end of the day. And if this is a 2-day project, I will get back with you tomorrow and explain the whole thing and the functionality to it. Ready? Let's go. Obviously, you can tell there's a lot of stuff in this area, and one of my main struggles right now is organization, because there is not places for a lot of things. Some of the stuff I'm cleaning up is just to start seeds. It's a bunch of seedling trays and stuff like that. Brought them out here last year, planted the seeds, kind of put them over here, but they had no shelter, they had no protection. Some of them have been destroyed. Some of them can still be cleaned and used this year to start my seeds, but I want to protect the investment. I want to take these things, my wood chippers sitting out in the elements right now, okay? I've got other things just sitting around in the yard that really would do better if they had a cover over them. So I've got to get this done so that things like that can stop happening. Also, you'll periodically see it just kind of transition and skip ahead. I've got to keep an eye on the children. Some of them will probably be in and out helping me, but also one cool thing about home education, if you're thinking about it, or if you got kind of thrown into it last year, maybe when kids weren't allowed to go to school, one cool thing is, if you can get them to the point that they can read, they can really go quite a bit on their own, and then you just supervise, you just make sure they're doing the right thing, give them kind of the direction and the prompting in the beginning, but then, you know, check back to make sure things are going well. And that's really what a lot of school teachers do from what I remember of school. You know, here, read this assignment and answer these questions. The teacher doesn't need to read every question because you know how to read. So same idea, just at home. How crazy is that, finding night crawlers and earthworms in January? You could not do that where I'm from. So that's some cool fresh fishing bait right there. And since they're so easy to find, I gotta send a couple of my kids out on a survival challenge soon, where I just kind of turn them loose with a fire starter, a knife, and a fishing pole, and see if they can actually feed themselves. So far progress has kind of ebbed and flowed. I do have 4 cedar posts in. I did need to go cut down, I think 2 trees from out in the woods just to get some more. I'm saving the bigger ones for an upcoming project, but I wanted some, like you see behind me, they're getting me some screws and screw guns right now. Everyone's done with their school for the day. Monster Truck got to do part of his up here in the garden, so they learn a lot in the garden. They don't always homeschool up in the garden, but that way I could answer some questions, and they even brought out the teacher's manual for me to make sure things were going right. Red Pepper, when she was done with her school, made us a wonderful lunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So the majority of us just kind of sat down up here, had a nice little meal. They had made sure our little, what is her name? Bell Pepper. That Bell Pepper was able to, you know, eat hers in the house, and she makes a mess, so they washed her out and brought her up here. But so far everyone's been safe, everyone's been good, everyone's been learning their stuff, and despite how tired I am today, I'm trying not to drink as much coffee as I sometimes drink all day. Even on cold days, it's nice just to warm up, but I don't have an excuse to, you know, stop. So I'm tired, so life is whatever. You know, a lot of days I'd like a nap too. I don't have that option. If Mom Pepper was here and I told her I needed to, she would let me. I know she would, but we got to make progress. I got to preserve the things I have, so I got to get some of this stuff covered. And shouldn't be too long now. I'll see how much I can get done tonight. Maybe this will be a finisher up tomorrow, but also, I got to get some water catchment. And then I've got to do the gutters and stuff. I don't think I'll get that done today, but I do plan on doing it in the near future. And when I do, I might bend up some other ones for like the quail pen, the poultry areas, because the quail I want there them to have a water catchment system that actually then waters them. But that's going to be kind of a more of a spring thing before I really hook it up, because if I do it now, it'll have about a month and a half still of freezing and having issues. So we don't want to deal with that, but we'll rock out some more of this and see how it goes. So let's talk openly and honestly about a couple things over there. Number one, it's so far so good. Number two, a lot of free sources, okay? Cedars, definitely cool, growing right on the land. A little bit of effort, chainsaw work, and gas and oil. Fence posts, we needed to take down those picket fences. Somebody said take these down, get rid of them, and then we had to put new ones in. So how cool is that? And then we'll run some other good stuff in here, but so far so good, and it's going to be at a bit of an angle. I'll show you what I mean by that. So when I talk about it kind of not being square, I got to build it into what I got. So that side's going to be more like 5 feet. This side's going to be more like 8 feet, because the way that that fence runs and the way my drive-through where the trailer is parked to the garden runs, I want to be able to swing a vehicle close to here, so it can't come out, you know, 3 more feet there and still give me enough room. But I also don't want to lose this, so I'm just going to kind of build it as a type of trapezoid. And all in all, you know, I didn't have to do anything today. I didn't feel like doing anything today. I wanted to take a nap. But considering that I didn't have to do anything, I made it a pretty good distance, and I got most of my resources here to continue. I'll use a shorter section of fence over there, a bigger one over there, run some stuff for the roof, put a couple posts in the front too to help support the roof, and then get the roof on and build some shelves and stuff. But I want to be able to take like my reel mower, like the lawnmower you just push, and put it in there. I want to put my chicken plucker in there that Miss Monica gave me. I want to put the wood chipper in there, and then also lots of garden supplies. I want to put my extra pots, my extra seed trays, my extra soil, stuff like that up in here. And then maybe further down the line, as this stuff here gets burned up in the fireplace eventually, you know, expand it this way a bit too, or maybe just plant a bunch of stuff next to it. But that's where we're at today. I made a mistake that kind of started my day off kind of weird. Got me a lot less sleep than I was hoping for. But you know, even the excuse of being tired doesn't work. I still have to get something done around here. And thankfully, the timber tax, property tax fine was only 12 cents. So it's getting dark enough that it doesn't want to focus much anymore. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you learned a couple things. Whether it's about how to make a nice European mount out of a skull by getting it all clean, or maybe just kind of the property tax in Arkansas, or whatever it may have been. Using free sources. Hopefully it was beneficial to you. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'll let Bugger sign us off. Pop out.
Thank you for watching.